So good afternoon, everyone. We have gathered here to talk about dwell and conquer. And if you see, the markets are evolving. It's changing. The industry is changing. A lot of new startups are coming in. I'm someone who works with startup ecosystem very closely. I invest in startups as well. And I interact and nurture them, encourage them to dwell into different markets, try, experiment, learn, and innovate. So we will talk about how things can be done in a better way. And I've created few points from a dwell and conquer perspective. And at the end of the talk, I will also give you a framework that can be utilized by all of you as business students. So from a dwell perspective, let's look at the first point. And the first point that we have is mindfulness. What is mindfulness is all about? It's all about introspection, right? Listening to yourself. So listening has 3 levels. And I'm bringing these 3 levels of listening from my experience of coaching people. The first level of listening is active listening. Active listening is that you listen to a person thoroughly, right? Without understanding, without creating your own bias of listening to the person. The second level of listening is internal listening. What is internal listening? You listen to yourself. You ensure that whatever you're listening, you cut down the noise, outside world noise, everything that is going around you, you need to cut down on that. What is the third level of listening? The third level of listening is global listening. Or global listening is all about is understanding the emotions, the body language, other person saying, the words that they're using. That is what global listening is all about. Now, global listening can be used for yourself, but as well as for the business, the startups that are coming in. What I talk about global listening is the emotions, the body language, right? But for the business, it's important to listen to the market, listen to the consumer, what they want, what is their pain point. What has happened very recently is that generative AI came, right? A lot of startups started coming up. A lot of investments were millions of dollars. The investors were after it, that this is a revolutionary technology. I stayed away from generative AI. I stayed away from generative AI for a reason. What is the uniqueness of that startup? Is it the algorithm? Is your data unique? Or the industry that you're catering is unique? If that is unique, then you will be able to thrive, right? What happened after a few times, like few months away, a lot of startups, they were challenged by generative AI because generative AI started charging money, for utilizing their APIs. So this was a threat that they were not looking, right? So you need to have that foresight to ensure that you are aware about the market. The second point that I have is gratitude. And the gratitude is a major problem in youth today, and as well as the people of my age as well. That what we have, we do not have gratitude for that. So it's very important that always value the people that you have, the skills that you have, the resources you have with yourself. It's important to be thankful about it. If you're not thankful, you will not be able to nourish and move forward without being gratitude towards your people, right? Towards yourself. When you say address, what is your address? When you say address, what is your address? Your address is your home address, right? We talk about our address is our home address, or when you mention in your resume, you mention your business address, or people say that the address is my office address. The first address when you meet someone is yourself. That is you. So that's your own address. So once somebody meets you, they want to get inspired by you. That is your address. So first, it's all about self-care, right? So have gratitude towards yourself as well. Third is self-reflection. As I talked about internal listening, self-reflection is something that will help you to understand and delve into it. You guys are all business students, and you're trying in 1 year, 2 year, based on the year that you are in your course. You will join the industry, and you will have a target industry or target company that is evolving and changing, and you may become experts in operations, finance, marketing, everything else, right? But from a business school perspective and from a business student perspective, it's important that you understand your industry pretty well. You need to understand the company that you're targeting, how they are evolving, what technologies they're using, how they're doing it, and then doing a self-reflection on yourself that what your skills are. Does my skill match what they're looking for? Or they will do for next 2 years, because you will hit the industry in 1 year or 2 years. So it's important to continuously do the self-reflection of yourself in a year or 2 years to ensure that you stay in trend what the company, the target company is executing. So that's very important. The fourth point is connection. And connection is everything. And you must have read about in academia is the network effect. The network effect is for business. That when network effect is there, platforms have an ecosystem, they have partners that are enabling them. Similarly, connection is your own connection. You are a business as well. Your network is your people, your industry peers, the students that you learn with, your professors, your faculty, everyone that you meet, your schoolmates, everyone is a network. And there are times in life that will happen, it has happened with me several times. When I got stuck, I had no guidance, nobody to reach out to, right? But then I looked into my connection. So a lot of times these days, it's about transactions. The relationships that are formed are transactional. This person will be lot of use for me, This person may help me with placements. This person may help me with internships. Or this person will help me in, next few years. So instead of transactional relationships, we have to focus on transformative relationships. Transformative relationships is that it's not based on just transactions. It's about creating value for each other. And when you create value, is because a lot of conflicts happen these days. People stop talking. Like you have a very good friend for 1 year. Next year, you're a good friend. You aren't in talking terms. So it's very easy to break relationships. It's very difficult to maintain and nurture a relationship. So always communicate, talk with each other, ensure that you're able to create and retain that bond for a long period of time. Okay? So always value connections. Fifth point is appreciation. Appreciation is something that you need to do, and appreciate starts with self. So we need to appreciate ourselves first, that I am doing this, I have this skill. I need to ensure that I'm able to execute that much time, I'm able to make that effort. So first it's appreciating yourself. Then you need to appreciate the people around you, right? All of you reached TEDxIIMKashipur, some leading business schools. A lot of my colleagues are here from the industry peers from different diversified industries. We all are here. Myself, I've reached here because of the hands of my wife, who is sitting here, also my father, my mother, my family that has supported me to be here. And not just my family, also a lot of my colleagues, all of the students who have added value. I've gained a lot of skills from them, because you alone, you cannot win any battle. It's important for you to learn from diversified people, right? Recently, when I gave a talk in the World Marketing Summit, Dr. Philip Kotler invited me. And when I reached out to several students, their focus was, this is on marketing. So this is focused on marketing only. And that's a problem, because when you are trying to learn business, you need to understand and build diversified knowledge. That will make you the diversified business leaders of tomorrow. Very important and very crucial. As a business leader, I have to know finance very well, right? Because if I'm investing in a company, I need to know the numbers. I can evaluate their performance today, that how are they performing? What are the challenges they are facing today, right? But can I predict what are the challenges they're going to face in future? I cannot. I have to predict that in a 10-year forecast, how they will evolve, what targets they will initiate, what markets they will hit. So it's very important to focus on this. So always focus on appreciating other fields as well, okay? Build diversified knowledge. It's not important to master everything. Master one skill. If you are a marketing student, then focus on marketing. If you're a finance student, focus on finance. But then you need to focus on convergence. Convergence is that utilizing my core skill, how I can make an impact in other fields. And that's what I do as well, right? I'm using technology as my core skill, and I'm using technology in diversified fields and creating values for the business, for the people, and for the customers. So that is very important. The sixth point is emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is the EQ. How you control and react to situations. A lot of times is that our emotions take control of our actions. There is communication, right? In business as well, there are a lot of times when you're trying to see the product will be a huge hit, but it is not. I've seen it myself. I've worked on a product, research and developing over the 2 years, right? Tested the market before the launch as well. I did everything right from a book perspective. But after 2 years, the product wasn't used by the consumer at all. I really died, consumers to utilize the product, but that didn't happen, right? So what is important was how I react to it, right? Understanding that where did I go wrong. So it's not about following a step-by-step process. You need to understand and execute based on this. Emotional reactions is also on your personal relationships. I talked about briefly earlier as well, right? How you react to situations, your communications and everything. It's not about being perfect, Nobody is perfect. All have flaws. We all have flaws. I also have a lot of flaws in me, right? But how you work on your flaws, how you ensure that you're able to create a bond for a long term is all about your emotional intelligence. That you are not reactive. When somebody having an emotion, right? Somebody is angry on you and they have a lot of emotions that they're carrying with themselves. Then it's all about controlling that emotion, listening to them. What is the listening? The third level of listening, which is global listening. Understanding them, having empathy with them, and then focusing on and then communicating when is the right time, your point, to ensure. Okay? The other point is the acceptance. A lot of times, problem is that you feel that I'm not the right person. I'm not an expert. I am not somebody that will be able to execute, or I lack these skills. So let's talk about one of the leading companies I was targeting, and I wanted to, invest in that company. And when I reached out to them, that I'm interested, what is your roadmap, product roadmap, I want to invest with you guys. They told me very clearly that, sir, we are looking for people from leading companies as a investor, right? So somebody else, at my place will think that he has hurt my ego, right? He's looking for an investor from a top company, right? Why not me? It's the money, right? But I thought again that whether I'll be able to create any value in their ecosystem. I reviewed it. And then I learned that, hey, I was wrong. I was not able to, I'll not be able to create any value in their ecosystem. And hence, it's a good decision for them and myself as well, because I won't be there for a long term with them, to stay invested in them. Okay? So acceptance. Always accept yourself, accept your skills, accept whatever is there. Next point is focus and clarity. Now, I think you all understand what focus and clarity is, and we all have goals that we have to attain in life. When goals and there, so I have to achieve a goal. And a lot of people come to me and tell me that I will achieve 4x growth. I will achieve 5x growth. We will be multi-million dollar in 3 years. But they never talk about the processes. They don't tell me about the steps. So the question that I ask them is that how you break down this growth. What are you achieving in the next 2 months? What are you achieving in 6 months? What is your goal for the next 1 year? From a technology perspective, from a consumer perspective, what markets you are trying to see, right? So from focus and clarity, it is always important that if you have a large goal, then divide that goal into mini goals and try and achieve and set milestones, set timelines. Make yourself commit to those timelines. Ensure, review, reflect, and then you will be able to achieve it. So focus and clarity is achieved through this. Living in the moment. So a lot of times what happens is that everybody thinks about future, right? I'm a researcher. I work on problems that are of next 10 years, that these will be the problems of next years. And you see that academia has lagged from a practice perspective, and now new terminology has come. When practice and academics work together, it's become pracademics, right? What pracademics is all about is understanding and evolving your research, based on that, what is going on. So you need to think about the future, but you need to live in the moment as well. You need to ensure that what is going on right now, right? If my research is future focused and it is not at the right time, nobody will use the product, right? So the product that I failed on was futuristic. That problem will come in the future, right? Did it solve anything today? It didn't. So it's important to ensure that whatever you're creating, whatever you're building, right? Whatever you're executing, whatever your goal is, it's important to stay in the present, okay? The 10th point is personal empowerment. So if you follow whatever I said from a dwell perspective, it will ensure, it will personally empower you to be successful, right? And when I say successful, successful is not definitely, the title, right? That doesn't make you successful. The money, that doesn't make you successful. What success is your self-reflection, your ability to control your emotions. It's the process that makes you successful. And there is no definitive process. Nobody can give you a framework. Let me tell you clearly, guys. There is no framework that can be utilized successfully and it will fit everybody. Nobody can do that. You will have your own process. You will have your own failures. You will have your own success. And you will be able to identify that this mantra is working for me. This is my strength. I need to focus on my strengths more, right? A lot of people tell you that you have weaknesses, you have strengths, and you need to focus on your weakness. I say if you have strengths, then focus more on your strengths. Ensure that you're reducing your weaknesses over a period of time, but ensure that when your strength is there, nobody is better than you on that strength. Now we will talk about conquer. Conquer is about taking courageous action, right? Courageous action is one point that I'm talking about, and people say that take risk. So it's not about taking risk every time. You need to understand what is your risk appetite, okay? So if I have to invest, I will not invest 100% of the amount, right? I will review that what is my risk appetite. If I can lose 10% of my total capital, I'm fine with that. So always take risk based on your risk appetite. Take risk, it's important, right? You want to dwell into something very important, very different market altogether, a new product altogether that's going to change the market, then do that. But ensure that it's a calculated risk, a measured risk. Second is resilience. Resilience is very important, right? Things change, markets change, situations change, team members change. Your core team leaves you a lot of times, right? I've been a founder, a lot of times I faced situation where the core team has left. They were not happy with the effort, the money, and everything, right? They had their aspirations. But does that stop you? It doesn't, right? So it's important to stay resilient. Third is the goal setting. So I've already said that goal setting can be done, set up small milestones to achieve that larger goal. But setting the goal is also important. How you are setting the goal. How you can say that this goal is achievable. So ensure that when you are setting a goal, then set achievable goals, okay? So let's take an example of me, right? When I set some examples, for myself that, I have to set up a goal, I believe that I will be able to publish 5 research papers, and I will target all best journals, FT50 journals. Can I do that? Based on the work, the commitments that I have professionally, I cannot, right? I will face a lot of rejections. It's not easy for me to publish in a top, FT50 journal. It's very difficult, right? But I identified, what are the processes, what I need to do, execute, what help I need, from people, right? And based on achievable goals, I was able to set that, okay, if I'm able to publish at least one, then I have made, a good academics use case for myself. So it's important to set achievable goals. The fourth point is adaptability. Now, adaptability is a major issue. People don't accept change very easily. I've been a coach in agility. I coach businesses that how they can be agile in business, how they can utilize change to measure their success, how they can be leader from their competition, how they need to adapt. And I was coaching somebody, and one person, a very senior person from the executive team, he said that agility is bad. We don't want agility. We just want to focus on the way that we do business. And I didn't focus because it was very different that I hear. And I spoke to him on the sidelines of this conversation, and then he told me that, if I'm not able to equip myself on this new skill, the company will shut me down. They will remove me. So when you're bringing change, anything, right? Because You will be the business leaders of tomorrow. You will bring change in the business. It's important for you to ensure that everybody is ready for that change. Okay? So when it's adaptability, it's not adaptability of yourself, it's about your people. Perseverance is very important. Ensure that you are persistent, your consistent effort is there, remain there. That will help you achieve your goals. The sixth point is learning from failure. I think a lot of my industry peers have already briefed you about that you need to learn from failure. So learn from failures is don't be hard on yourself. It's all right to fail. A lot of times you will fail. We all have failed in doing several things, right? But we all have learned. We have introspect, reflect, execution and everything, and that has helped me. And I've given you a lot of case studies, a lot of examples, during my conversation. Innovation and creativity. So innovation and creativity is very important. What happens is that when I do design thinking workshop with a lot of business leaders, they've forgotten to sketch, right? You have all heard about elevator pitch, the 2-minute pitch, right? So a lot of conversations are happening on talking, right? A lot of speaking. You have to talk to your idea. You're getting 2 minutes, talk about your idea, right? How about creating your idea, right? Because when you want to be successful, it's important to fail fast. So always create your ideas within 2 minutes, and it will help you to learn new things as well. If you're learning a concept, you're trying to remember it, sketch it immediately. It will help you with your memory. The 8th point is taking risk. So I talked about it. So you need to step out of your comfort zone, try and learn new skills, evolve your skills to ensure that it equips you to start taking risk. Self-discipline. So without self-discipline, it's not possible. You need to ensure that consistently, every day, you're following a schedule and executing it day by day. If you're doing it, then it's not about the volume of work, it's about the process, right? So whatever you do, execute. Step by step, you will be able to achieve your goal through self-discipline. The 10th point is leadership and influence. So once you've reached the stage, right, it's also important to inspire others, influence others, help them achieve their goals as well, guide them, help them, because you have gone through that process yourself. So it's important to tell them, educate them that these are the books, these are the references, these are the case studies and everything so that you can learn from. So in the end, I would like to give you this framework, and this framework is not 100% accurate, let me tell you, right? This framework can change depending on the individual, depending on the business, but this is all about mindfulness, because if you are introspecting yourself and you're taking actions based on that, it will lead to growth. But I'm not saying mindfulness is the first stage. It can start from growth as well. Yeah, you can be successful. So that's all from me. Thank you so much. Have a good day, guys.